No, I am absolutely not anti-certification. Going back historically, certification solved a problem, is that people had these enormous organizations, and in order to ensure consistency, you had to ensure that everyone was trained to a certain level. And the natural way of doing that is to put people through a certain kind of training and then find some way of doing an examination that would standardize what everyone knows, ensure that everyone who passes this test knows the same things. We are certifying these people can apply these to specific situations where they are likely to need them in a work context. That it makes sense, and it was a solution to a problem. One of the things Frank and I say a lot is that today's problems come from yesterday's solutions. That means that what solved a problem yesterday is what causes my problems today. I mean, you look at, we use the example of Henry Ford. New York City had a problem in the early 1900s. It was horse shit. There was horse crap everywhere, and they were dumping it in the rivers, and it was polluting things. They needed a solution to that. When Henry Ford invented he solved the problem of horse crap everywhere in the streets of New York. But 100 years later, that same solution has caused another problem. We have a pollution problem. We have smog issues in major cities. Today's problems come from yesterday's solutions. I mean, that's the nature. We have to accept that as part of quality. And I think healthy leaders, healthy managers recognize the fact that no solution is ever going to be permanent. It's not just continuous improvement where we are always making our product better. It's also continuous adaptation, recognizing how much we can't control in the environment and that we can't anticipate future circumstances. So the thing that makes sense now is going to have unintended consequences. If I accept that right now, then I'm better prepared to adapt to those unintended consequences instead of clinging to the solution that I found. And I think that's actually what's happening right now in the quality industry, is that certifications were the solution to a problem of how do we standardize knowledge in large organizations. That's why we have the Toyota system. That's why we have these different theories of quality and these different systems of quality, is to improve efficiency. That was the whole idea, to let people speak a common language so they could communicate better and innovate better. But I think what we've done now is those same languages that help these organizations create and innovate. What they've done now is they are limiting quality's applications to other fields. We've created these languages have created the silos, the same silos that we warn people against in quality, so that only people within certain industries who speak the same language are able to use quality together. And the language has become synonymous with quality itself. So we don't recognize that the education industry is using quality principles, or that the farming industry in Zimbabwe has used quality principles. I mean, wherever it is we're gonna pick. We don't recognize that when King Bhumibol of Thailand introduced his new irrigation system to Thailand, he was using quality principles, because they're not using the language that we use. I have a client, it's a tech startup here in town, and the founder is an IT prodigy. He's able to solve problems of integration of bleeding edge technology faster than anyone else in his industry. And the problem is that here's this genius. He has a certain number of hours every day. How do you build a sustainable company that replicates his genius? Well, he figured out a way to clone himself. He created an innovative training program that allowed him to take people who'd been driving potato chip delivery trucks, and in less than a year and a half, he turned them into top-of-the-line IT architects. Well, he did that using principles that are basically training within industry and Deming's system of profound knowledge. He came up with that himself. But he has a couple of tweaks that are really innovative. No one in the quality industry knows about him and knows what he's doing because he's not using quality language to explain it. And honestly, he doesn't have time to learn quality language. He's busy running a multi-million-dollar company and training these people. Why should he take time to learn our language so that we can learn from him? We need to step out of our field and learn his language. And we need to figure out how to speak about quality in a way that is not exclusive. We need to find inclusive language that is not industry specific to explain quality terms. We need to make that a priority, and we haven't. We have taken the general approach that we know what quality is. Our language for quality is the only language for quality, and other people need to learn our language. We also take this idea that we have quality and we are going to adapt it for these other industries. These other industries have been using quality for millennia. Humans use quality every day. It's the basic process of how human beings learn and improve what they're doing in their everyday life. So instead of us saying, we have quality, and oh look, isn't it cool this other person is using quality? We need to accept that quality happens all around us, and we just aren't recognizing it, let alone respecting it when other people use it differently than we do, or talk about it differently than we do. We do not have a monopoly on quality principles. We can't, because they're human principles. And while certifications are absolutely critical for that, we have to face the reality that right now, the only way most people learn quality principles is in preparation for a certification. And the only reason most people are going to pursue quality right now is to get a certification and make themselves more marketable. We have not come up with a way to make learning quality appealing to people like the CEO. He doesn't need a certification. He runs a company, a multi-million-dollar company. He has no need for that certification. What he needs, instead of a credential, is he needs faster tools. He needs to be able to learn things quicker. He needs more time. And that's the real benefit of using quality in a universal way, is it allows us to talk to each other with a common tongue so that we can learn from each other faster. And until the traditional quality industry, these traditional quality organizations, until we start recognizing that, our growth is going to be stunted too. Because, I mean, there's a reason we haven't had another major guru in decades in quality. We have some folks who are doing some really amazing, interesting things, but we're not creating that revolution that should be occurring. There is no reason that we shouldn't have amazing epiphanies, and we shouldn't be learning from the education industry. We shouldn't be learning from even the arts industry. Why aren't people using quality in the arts? We need to be asking ourselves that question, and we need to take responsibility for the answers. We need to accept, just as Deming's 14 points say, that everyone has to be involved in the transformation, and that means us too. We are not the saviors bringing quality to other people. We are the folks who are over-specified. We've over-specialized in our fields, and we need to take responsibility for transforming ourselves to be able to apply quality more universally, and more importantly, communicate about quality principles in a less exclusive way. Does that make sense? Okay, sorry, thanks for the rant.